don't smoke crack, motherfucker, I sell it.
What is going on, everybody? This is the Miscellaneous Minds Podcast. I'm your co-host, Bumagato, the cat that ends your pound per pound fighter back. And to my left over here is the mate Manny Sustanero, the man that makes the fat stacks. Together we form the dynamic duo that won't die. Deadly ideas, brother, and spicier content than your girls' only fans.
What is going on, everybody? Before we get into tonight's topic, please make sure to like, comment, hate, subscribe, DM us about the bullshit. And with that, let's get right into it. So, a fight that I originally said I don't think would be a great fight. I'm going to still stand by it, but it looks like it might be made. Crawford versus Canelo. Now, I've seen a lot of people talking about this back and forth on a lot of the boxing forums, boxing Reddit, a few of the pages I follow on Facebook related to boxing. And here's the one thing. I still don't think it's a great fight, but listen, if you guys want to make it, fine. But there's one thing that I want to ask for. Don't be a damn hypocrite when it comes out. And what I mean by that is this. The reasons I have said that it's not going to be a good fight is because Canelo is 2 weight classes above. He was 3, but he's now 2 weight classes above where Crawford fights. Now, a lot of people are saying Crawford is going to go in there and he's going to school Canelo. He's going to tear him down pieces. He's gonna move around just like Mayweather moved around and so on and so forth, and he's going to beat the brakes off Canelo. And to those people, I say, listen, that's fine. If you believe that, there's nothing wrong with that. Terence Crawford is an extremely skilled boxer. He's a phenomenal. He's pound for pound. All those accolades. Terence Crawford is that guy. But if your man loses, I don't want to hear one excuse. I don't want to hear, he was the little guy. Canelo's picking on the smaller man. He dared to be great. I don't want to hear the excuses. The same way that you guys say, this man is going to go in there and tear him to pieces. If the opposite happens, I want to hear you with your whole chest say, we were wrong. I don't want to hear excuses. I don't want to hear he was smaller because he's smaller now and you guys are asking for the fight. I don't want to hear, it was rigged against him. I don't want to hear none of that ish. And listen, I recently saw an article where AI ran the model and basically said Crawford will win. Hey, listen, I'm not against the fact that Crawford could win. Crawford is a highly skilled boxer. If that's a potential, I'm okay with it. I ain't mad at it. I don't think it's a good fight because I don't think if Canelo wins, he's going to get the respect and accolades he deserves, especially from the Crawford fans. They're going to make 1,000,001 excuses for it. And listen, just for you same Crawford fans, I'm willing to say, I believe that there is a possibility that Canelo can lose. And why do I say that? Because, again, Crawford is insanely skilled as a boxer. He's phenomenal. But there are a number of things, and I'll even direct you to another channel. Go watch Showbiz The Adult. He has broken down why he believes Canelo would win over Crawford. There's a number of parallels that people draw between Crawford and Mayweather that don't exist, and he's completely right about it. Yes, Crawford has phenomenal footwork, not as good as Mayweather. And at that time, keep in mind, a little known fact, or it's a well-known fact that people seem to ignore. Mayweather weight drained Canelo into a catchweight. In this instance, Canelo would not be weight drained because they'd be fighting at the 168 division, where Canelo resides. So there's a number of factors that people aren't taking into consideration for this fight. That they're he's gonna blow him out of the water, which I don't think is factual. I think there's a possibility that Crawford can win, yes, but it's gonna be a shutout, absolutely not. And even AI agrees with me that it wouldn't be a shutout. So listen, I don't care if you guys want to make the fight happen. I'm perfectly okay with the fight happening, even though I think it's a dumb fight for a number of reasons. But listen, if that many people want to see it and the Turk wants to bust out the money, make the damn fight. I don't care. Just keep the same damn energy when and if your fighter loses. Because listen, let's keep it a buck here. Let's keep it a buck. The diehard fans of Crawford, the diehard fans that hate Canelo, are going to make 1,000,001 excuses on why, if he loses Crawford, on why that was. And I don't want to hear it, because the same way you say that shit, that he's going to win, is the same way that the Canelo fans, the hardcore Canelo fans, are going to rub it in your faces. So all I'm asking, and this is a simple request that you can ask of me and anybody else can ask of any other boxing fan, keep that same energy if your boxer loses. Because I'm tired of the hypocrisy that when somebody's favorite fighter loses, all of a sudden there's 1,000,001 excuses why they didn't win, when right before the fight, there was 1,000,001 excuses why they were going to win. What do you think about that, my man?
Listen, man, I'm personally here for the fallout when that happens. If Terence Crawford does in fact actually lose to Canelo, and look, I know there's gonna be some a combination of pro Terrence Crawford and a combination of anti-Canelo, especially when you see somebody like Timothy Bradley basically go on. I think Timothy Bradley had said something along the lines of, "Oh, Terrence Crawford is going to absolutely destroy Canelo, and Canelo's going to get his comeuppance because he's been running from David Benavidez and blah 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 blah." And look, we've had on the show, we've even had our own reservations of why the fight between Canelo and Benavidez hasn't been made. In fact, we even gave him a good grace window for why that fight hasn't been made, and we even gave him a good I think it was Berlanga that we gave him the last holdout before he would potentially announce the fight, and it didn't happen. We were like, all right, fine, we're gonna have to call it a duck. We don't want it to be like that, but we're gonna have to call it as we see it fit. Now, in another. This is a very similar situation to what happened when Canelo fought Bivol. When he lost to Bivol, a lot of people said, like, oh, of course Canelo was going to get weight bullied by Bivol. Bivol is, a much bigger opponent than he has. And look, personally, on my end, even I was like, look, maybe I bought into the hype train a bit too much, but in hindsight, I probably should have looked at it more objectively. I was like, of course he was going to get weight bullied. Now, granted, I'm not faulting Canelo for taking that fight. If he wants to take up that fight, that's his freedom. As is Terrence Crawford for taking up this fight. If he wants to take up the fight, cool, but he has to know the inherent risks that are going to come forward with it. That being said, I'm actually in the camp that I do actually want to see this fight, if nothing else, it's going to be both a star power fight for both of these men. If you want to criticize these men for basically taking nothing fights, with Terrence Crawford taking the Israel Madrimov fight, which, by the way, he didn't look that great in. And even some criticism levied against Canelo for not looking that great in his last fight against Edgar Berlanga, and the fact that he only got one knockdown. I think it was in the third round. It didn't look like the best Canelo showcase, and if anything, this would actually be a big marquee matchup. Again, Canelo Alvarez has been the face of boxing for God knows how long, going up against the arguably number one pound for pound fighter in Terrence Crawford. Of course, it's going to be a big marquee matchup. Like, it's going to make, you already know it's going to make big money based on that alone. And if there's anything going on in the lower mid card fights going on for that, anything exciting, you already know that Terrence Crawford and Canelo is already going to make big money on that alone. Any good fights that are going to come before it, it's just going to be a big bonus. I'm not going to be here and say that I'm not excited for the prospect of this matchup, if nothing else for the spectacle of it. But what I'm not excited to see is the fallout for if and when something like this happens. Again, if Terrence Crawford wins, again, credit to him, he deserves it for taking on a bigger opponent. If Canelo wins, however, it's going to be nothing but excuses and chatter and basically saying that he weight bullied him. Which, again, look, when Canelo got weight bullied, we didn't make excuses. Like, you saw when he got weight bullied by Bivol, and most of the punches that he were taking were basically taking the win out of Canelo. A lot of us in hindsight were like, you know what? We kind of bought into the hype a little bit too much. We didn't focus on Bivol too much, and credit to Bivol. We probably should have given him a little bit more credit. But at the same time, like, 168 going up against, what, 170, 175? Yep. 175? Yeah, of course he was going to get weight bullied. We bought in a little bit of the hype too much, and to be honest, yeah, that loss was expected. We probably should have expected it, but we bought into the hype. But now we know. But in the same stance that we have right here, don't buy into the Terrence Crawford hype too much, because if something bad does happen, you're going to have to eat crow on that.
Listen, man, like I said, if you guys want the fight, I don't care. Make the fight happen. I'm always one of those people who are saying if enough people want to watch the fight, even if I'm not necessarily a fan of it, make the fight. The problem is that let's keep it a buck here. There's a narrative that people are trying to push here, and I think that's what bothers me. Is like, listen, why can't you just like a damn boxer? Why has it got to be a whole narrative behind it? People often want to see somebody, much like with Mayweather, when Mayweather was the top dog in the boxing game, they want to see people who are up high on their horse get knocked down a few pegs. And a lot of people feel that way about Canelo. And that's perfectly fine if you feel that way. There isn't nothing wrong with that. If you're going to criticize him for not fighting David Benavidez, hey, I'm with you. If you want to criticize him because he took on Bivol and he thought Bivol was going to be a cherry pick, whatever, if you want to, that's perfectly fine. I have no problem with that. But again, if you're going to keep that same energy for Canelo, which I am okay with, keep it for Terrence Crawford as well. Because let's keep it a buck. Terrence Crawford has made the statement by himself. He's looking at the exit ramp on the highway of his career. Which, listen, he's a great fighter. If he wants to ride off into the sunset after making a big old bag, nothing wrong with that at all. Especially after his career was held back by his promoter for such a long time. Nothing wrong with that at all. But if he loses, I don't want to hear, oh, he's too old because he's 37. I don't want to hear, oh, he's too small because he's 2 weight classes below. Oh, Canelo weight bullied him. Nope, because Terrence Crawford is the one pushing for this fight. Canelo has made it a clear point many, many times saying, I'm not going to get the credit that I deserve if I beat him, because people are going to say, you bullied him. You were bigger than him. You blah, 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 blah. again, if Crawford wins, great. Good for him. I ain't mad at him. He's a great boxer. But on the other side, people aren't saying that about Canelo. The Canelo haters and the Crawford fans, they're saying, oh, he's going to be obliterated. He's going to be obliterated. And if you say, look, man, you're just being biased, talking about me. AI said the same thing that I said. Are you telling me AI is biased? When AI said it's not going to be a blowout fight. Yes, Crawford will win, but it's not going to be a blowout. So listen, keep that same energy. That's all I'm asking. That is a fair ask. Let's cut the BS. Let's get back to admiring boxers for boxers, not because of who they are or where they come from or none of that dumbass ish. Let's get back to admiring boxers for getting in there and putting on good fights. Now with that, make sure to like, comment, hate, subscribe, DM us about the bullshit, and
Until next time, get rest and stay blessed. We'll see you on the next one.